ecosystem, because React is not complete with the Redux, because state management is a problem with your React, and global state management is done well in Redux. So every big project which you go, you have to use Redux. So let's get started with Redux, and I teach Redux in a very easy way. So what is there? First, we'll learn Redux in a way like as if there is the main use case is with React, but we are going, it's a separate entity, and then we're going to convert that into a React project. Okay, so that most probably we're going to do in the next class, and Wednesdays there is no class, so it will be on Thursday. So that is there, and so let's get started, and let me see. Okay, oh, 1 sec. Okay, so okay, so I can see people watching on LinkedIn also. So let's get started, and here what we are going to do first, we're going to create I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to create a mkdir redux demo cd redux demo, and React project. React we already have previous week, so please watch it. This is advanced React concepts. So yesterday also we did a very advanced concept. Okay, so this is simple Redux project. No React will be there. So here what we are going to do, we are going to do a npm init dash y, npm init dash y, to create a package.json file, empty package.json file. And before going forward, what we're going to do, Redux is actually a third-party library, and this is something which React also don't like. That's too many third-party libraries are important from React, like React router is there, Redux is there, so all those things are there. So React have also come out with a combination of context API and reducer. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow, but let's get started right now with it. This so npm I Redux, I will install this Redux here in this project, so which is installed. Then I'll open this with code editor. Okay, so you can see this node modules and package.json and all these things are there. Then we are going to create a simple index.js file. So index.js file is created, and now we're going to start with the project with Redux. So Redux, let me also explain Redux through a diagram, although I'm not going to explain too much of a theoretical thing, but then also I need to explain a bit with the diagram. Okay, so let me explain it with the diagram. So see, maybe we'll have this diagram opened only. Okay, so in Redux, what happens? See, right now I'm taking a JavaScript app. In the next class, we'll take a React app. Okay, React app instead of the JavaScript app. So this JavaScript app will dispatch something known as an action creator. It will dispatch something known as action creator, and this is also known as Redux lifecycle. A very good, very important interview question. Yeah, so this JavaScript app is there which will dispatch an action creator, and this action creator is somehow connected with something known as a reducer. So reducer, it is connected, and this reducer is then connected with the Redux store. So action creator, we are going to see that action creators are like to do some action. Reducers will change the global state. So this is different than React state. This is a global state, and then a Redux store is actually connected to the JavaScript through this subscribe. We're going to see that thing. Okay, so let's start with this thing, and we'll create a simple thing. Okay, so suppose first thing is that in Redux we always need a constant. Okay, so constant is required, so we'll come to a const by. So we are creating a store. Suppose a shopkeeper is there who is selling X, so we'll do that by egg equal const by egg equal to by egg, like this. Then we'll have a, and now we'll create the action creator. Okay, so the action creator we're going to create here, I'll do a function by egg, like this. Then this I'll do, and action creators are always functions which returns an object. So return, like this object is the type, is again a sort of a keyword. So type, I will do the by add comma, and I'll have an info like info of buying, like this I'll have. So this is the action creator. Now the next thing, this action creator, and when we complete this project, so all the dots will be connected, then you'll see. So we'll have an initial state, and right now we're creating everything in one file. Okay, later on we are going to create everything, like when we're going to do a React project next, I'm going to take all these things and put them in different files. So that is how actually it works. Okay, so now the const initial state equal to num of x is 100. Okay, so this is there. Now this will be the initial state, and this will be sort of global state. Now we'll have a reducer. Reducer is most of the time it's a switch statement. Okay, so this is where the switch statement is used. So const reducer equal to, it will be a function first, and it will take two parameters. One is the state, and see, this is a keyword, but it is a global state. Okay, so initial state comma and action. So this is something is okay. Then I'll tell what is this action. Then I will have a switch action dot type is case by egg. So the case, and there will be different cases. Soon we are going to have another case also. So this case by egg is there. Then return. Soon we are going to have another case. So that's one of the reason I'm going to have a dot state, and it should always beneficial to take this spread operator. See, we're using a lot of ES6 concept here. Redux we use a lot of ES6 concept. This is a default parameter. This we are using destructuring. Then what I'm going to do, num of x is num of x, not num of x, it is like state dot num of x minus 1. So when this will come, it will come when this acts. So all these things will be connected. How these dots are connected, we'll see soon. So then I will have a default of return state. Okay, like this it is there. Now our store will be created, and the store is something, this Redux store will be created, which will require something to be imported from the Redux. So we are using here a normal, like this is a normal JavaScript Node.js kind of application. So here the imports will be done in the old way. So before React was there, the import were done with const. So import is a new concept which we are going to do in React, but not here. We cannot do it here. Const, and normal JavaScript projects also you can make in a Node.js kind of a way. Okay, it's not a Node.js project, but it's a Node.js kind of way in which you have modules and all those things. Const Redux equal to require Redux. In the old days we used to do like this. Okay, not import Redux from Redux. Okay, so that is not there, but we are going to do it soon. So this we have done. Then we have to for store, this store is a Redux concept, and that we have to, again we have to import const create store equal to redux dot create store. Okay, so this is there. Then we will come down here, and then const store equal to create store reducer. It's a reducer. So this is how this is how actually the reducer and the store are joined. So we have joined this thing. Okay, so that is there. Now what I'm going to do, cmg initial state is store dot get state. So this get state is coming from where? Get state is a method which is coming from, again, from this Redux. Okay, so that is there, get state. Then I have a store dot subscribe this, and then it will have cmg updated state, and we are going to learn about thunk and all those things also today. Store dot get state. So it is like this. Okay. Now this is subscribe. So this subscribe thing is there. Okay. Now the next thing is store dot dispatch, and it will have this by like have it again, and then okay, we when you have subscribed, okay, it is okay. We can unsubscribe it also. Okay, so it's better practice to unsubscribe. It's not always required. So const unscribe equal to like this, and you can make it a bit small, bit. It's better to have everything in one line. Okay, then unsubscribe. I have to call it like this. Okay, so now let us see how it works. Okay, let us see how it works by running this, and then I will explain the whole flow. So how we are going to run this thing. So from the item, I will do a node index.js. How it is coming, this initial state nums of x is 100. So let us go through all this thing and let us see from where it is starting. So everything is like created like this here. Okay, so it will come to this line number 28, and it will run this thing initial state store dot get state. At this moment the state is like 100, so it will get this global state of 100. Okay, now this subscribe is there. Okay, this subscribe is there. Let me make it this small only. This okay, so this after that this subscribe is there. Subscribe is like an event handler, event listener. So when I do store dot subscribe, it actually create this thing. It is like an event listener. It will not run at this time. It will just create a event listener, and it will keep on listening for the event, keep on listening for the event, and it is like running. Then what will do, then line number 30 will run store dot dispatch. Dispatch is again a Redux thing through which you call a action creator. See here, dispatch is written through which you call the action creator. So what is this by? So now we have started from here. Dispatch by is this function. So by is coming to this action creator, which is like this. Now this action creator and reducers are actually connected, and this is what the magic of Redux is. It is like internally it is done in a way that the moment the action creator is dispatched, this whole thing will come to the reducer, and this when this whole thing come to the reducer, what will come, like state is initial state, which is like your this is like initial state is like this initial state is actually like this. Initial state is this nums of x is 100, and what is this action actually? Action is actually this will come here. So now these two things will come. Now action dot type is what? Action dot type is by x. So this will run, and this state is getting changed. The state is getting changed. State dot nums of x. State dot nums of x minus 1. So state will become 99. So the moment, so I'll let me put it all back. So the moment it become 99, see, it is like a event listener. So it is an event listener. It is listening. It's an event listener. So it is listening. So when it is continuously listening, so the moment, so what it does, the moment the state is like changed to 99, it will run. So it will run, and it will run this update thing. Okay, it will run this update thing. So update state nums of x will become 99. So again I will run this by x, and again it will do the same thing like this. It will come to here, and it will make it as 98, and the moment it become 98, this event listener is fired, and it will be done. And the other thing is that this unsubscribe is at the end, the unsubscribe will run. Okay, so that is like that. Okay, so that is there, and now this is how actually Redux work. Okay, so the other thing is that now we'll check how the multiple reducers are there. Okay, multiple reducers are there. We'll check that how the multiple reducers are used. We are going to check that, and for that what we are going to do, we are going to have another thing. Instead of this by x, we are going to have by and chicken, we're going to have these things. Then we are going to have this function by and this by chicken will come here. It's like this will be there, and we'll have in this state only we'll have a num of, we'll have like this. Okay, nums of chickens will be 10, maybe 10 it is there. Now we will have what, we'll have a new case, new case we are going to have. So let us have a new case. So I will come here and do a case of by chicken I'm going to do, and then this will be this, and this will be like this. Let me have it done correctly. Okay, so this is it. Now this dot state is very important because there are two cases. Okay, so that is done. Now what to do in the dispatch? So we'll come here and do a by this new function, I'll do save it. Again I will actually run this thing. Okay, node index.js. See now what is happening. See, everything is okay. Now initial state have both of these things, and when a by egg will done, so it will go here again, the same thing, it will go here, then it will come here and it will take the first case. So state will become 99, but this numbers of chicken is that much only. Then again this will run, it will become 98, and then and again this will run, now it will become 9. So actually this all this state is actually a global state which we are going to see when you're going to do a React Redux project. Okay, so that is okay, but one thing is there is a concept of combined reducer. Okay, generally you'll see that reducers will come from different files. Okay, different files, that 2-3 reducers will be there, and there will be a concept of combined reducer. So in combined reducer we are not going to use this simple way, we're going to complicate this thing, because in the React Redux project that combined reducers will be used. Okay, so for that what we need to do here, we'll go up. So this by egg and by chicken will be like this, but this will be two different things. Okay, so let us do that. So const initial state, and we have this chicken, and initial 𝐏𝐼𝐶𝐾EN chicken state. Instead will not have this egg, so that is it. And the reducer will also be actually not 1, but reducer will be 2. This is how we generally use. Okay, so first one I will call it a reducer, not initial state, it will be initial and state, and it will only have this case. So I'll remove this, so it will be like this, and this will be can reducer and initial. What is this? So chicken state and this, and I will delete. Okay, everything else is okay. So now this create store cannot work because I have two reducers. So now what happens? So now the concept of combined reducer comes. So combined reducer is again something we have to import it from your Redux. Okay, so I'll come here and do a const combine reducers equal to Redux dot combine reducers. Okay, so we have to do this thing. It's not combine reducers. Now we'll come here and do a const before this we have now a thing known as combine reducers. So we'll have a const root reducer equal to combine reducers, which is actually function. Here I'll pass this egg and egg reducer comma can and can reducer. So these two things I'll pass. Now this root reducer will be done here, everything else will be same. So now we have combined the reducer sort of. Okay, so now again let us run this thing, node index.js. See, now everything is working, but you will see that now our state is a bit complicated. Like this object is there, object is there, that is okay, object is there, but the other thing is that object is there, that is okay. uh, Inside the object there is this egg is coming, and inside that there is another object, so it is a bit complicated what happened. So in this case what happens actually, this and here we can take any name here. Okay, so it will, state will become like this, state will become like this. So if you can see, it has been changed like this, so everything else will be working like that only. So this is how, and this is something which we are going to face in React Redux also. Okay, so this we have done. Now the next thing which we are going to do is to learn about something known as a middleware. Actually in Redux what happens, this action creator comes to the reducer, it comes in a very fast way. Okay, so and you can catch it here and add something to it, so that is known as a middleware. And what is the main thing of middleware? Middleware are used to add functionality to the action. So there is a logger middleware which is required, and there is a middleware for asynchronous tasks known as Redux Thunks, a very important interview question and used throughout the industry. Redux Thunk, Redux Saga, Redux Thunk is used more, and Redux Saga. So what they do, we are soon going to learn after this how to do API calls, how to do API calls with Redux. So that is something which we are going to learn, the API call with Redux. So yeah, it is the syntax of Redux. So because the React Redux we're going to learn in the next class. Okay, React Redux we're going to learn in the next class. So now we are going to add a middleware here. So we are going to add a middleware known as Redux Logger. So I don't see much of LinkedIn comments, so someone is asking something on LinkedIn. So Redux Logger, I will click here. See, so this is Redux Logger, and it will give us some nice nice logs. Okay, so we'll install it like where it is. Okay, and you'll see what it does, and it's a middleware. So we're actually learning how to use the middleware. So I'll do here on, I'll do npm I Redux Logger. In the Redux demo, I'll use this. Now it is installed. Now I have to use it. So let us use it. Okay, so it's a middleware, and we are also learning how to use the middleware. So in this Redux, I'll come and do a const Redux Logger equal to require Redux Logger like this, and then this const apply middleware equal to Redux dot apply middleware. It's again a function, and then we have to again use this logger, const logger equal to Redux logger dot create logger. Again, this is a function. Okay, so from the Redux logger, now how to use the Redux logger, which is this thing. So you have to come here in the create store. Here the root reduce is there. It will take another parameter which is known as apply middleware, and this logger is which we have created here. So this logger I will use now. What this middleware does, it gives very good logs, so we don't need this external log. Initial state we need it, but this is something which we are going to remove. Instead of just put the empty bracket and save it, and go here and again run the same command. See, now I have get it in a much better way in the terminal. So like initial state, it is showing, okay, this is the initial state. Then the action of buy was passed at exactly this time, this nanosecond. Then previous state was and this and this, and the action was this. Initial state is coming from the first log, but rest of these things are coming from this log. Okay, then at this moment the action creator was passed again, and what was the previous state, what is the action, what is the next state. Similarly, this is done. So this is how this middleware works. But this is okay. This middleware is we're going to see a much better thing, like to see the Redux state when we are going to do a React Redux. But now the one other thing which we are going to learn is, okay, okay, so now we are going to see how to do API call. And API call, you'll see that it is a much more difficult to do the API call through your React Redux. Okay, so not through Redux right now, but then also we are going to do it. Okay, because in bigger project you'll see what happens. Most of the API call are done through Redux, and then the data is stored at a central location. Okay, so that is something which is there. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a new file known as async actions.js, async actions.js. Okay, so here we are going to have again some constants we need to have. So const fetch users Request, fetch users request equal to fetch users request. Okay, fetch users success, fetch user success is fetch user success, and fetch users REH is fetch users failure. Okay, so these things are done. So now what we are going to do, API call. So we are going to API call, we are going to do to this JSON placeholder users endpoint. So this endpoint we are going to do the API call. Okay, so when you do API call, we generally have we can show a spinner also when the API call has been done. So we're going to do that thing. So for that, what we're going to do, const initial state equal to like this, and then the loading, a loading thing will be there, a loading variable which is initially false. When the API call will be done, it will be made as true. Then I will have a users like this, because I'm getting a array of objects, so users will be there. I'll also keep track of the error. So error will be like this. Okay, error will be like this. Okay, so these three things will be there. Now the next thing is that we have to create three functions. So const fetch. One more thing I want to do, let us do some React Redux also today. So what I'm going to do here, so it's in general take some time, so let us do this thing now only. So what I'm going to do here, create a React project. Soon going to come to this npx create React app React Redux okay, and let it create, because it takes time. So I have created it, then it takes time, so let it be done. Okay, so fetch users request, fetch users request equal to like this, and return type is and here when I do everything, it will be clear. So only fetch uses request is required. Okay, so we don't need info and all. Anyways, we were not using it. So the next thing will be fetch users success. Here I will get this users, and this will be fetch users success, comma payload will be users. Payload will be users. Okay, so which is coming, and payload is also keyword. Okay, payload is also keyword. Then we'll have a fetch users failure, and here we'll have a error, and fetch users failure will be there, and this payload will be this error. Okay, so that is there. Now we'll have a const reducer is equal to state equal to initial state, comma action will be there, again similar to that. And now we'll have actually three cases. Have the switch, first switch action dot type. Then the first case will be this, anyways, the fetch users request. Case fetch users request is like retur and return, and dot state, which is very important, and the loading will become true. So when the fetch users request will go, the loading will become true. So that is there. Now the next thing which we are going to have, fetch users success, in which actually I will have all the things. The loading will not just destructure, because here the other two things will be whatever it was earlier. Dot state means loading is true, and whatever it was earlier, it will be like that. But here what I'm going to do, I'm going to have all these things. Okay, loading will be like and the success is there, so loading will be false, comma this users will be actually action dot payload. Users will be action dot payload, and then there will be fetch users failure. Fetch users failure, loading will be false. This time the user will again be with this, and this error will be now action dot payload, because something came in the error. So that is there. And we will also need a default case, or else I've seen that it gets error. Default ult is return state. Okay, so that is there. Now we will actually, this is not looking good. Hit save it. Now let us have that create a store thing. So for that I have this thing, and this Redux logger, remove it, create a store, done. And we'll come here and do a const store equal to create store and reducer, create a store and reducer there. Okay, now the thing is that we want to have a middleware, and we also want to use Axios. So I'll do a control J and npmi Axios and Redux thunk. Redux thunk is a middleware which is very much required when you do a API call with Redux, because or else we cannot do. The reason behind that is that the action creator comes very fast to the reducer. So we need a middleware to hold that and get the data back. Whenever API call is done, it takes around 1 to 2 seconds. So this, and Axios, anyway, we do the API call with Axios. So that is done. So now the next thing which we are going to do is like this apply middleware. This, where is this apply middleware? Apply middleware. I will add this apply middleware, and then thunk middleware what to do. So const 𝐻𝐸𝐴𝐐 middleware equal to ReQUILE require Redux 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚 Redux thunk dot DEFAULT. So you're seeing this all are a bit tougher, this imports. So we are soon going to go to a React project. The imports will be much more easier as always. So const axios equal to require AXIOS, require axios, like this. Now we will go and use this apply middleware, comma, apply middleware, and this thunk middleware which you have done. What to do? Thunk middleware. So that is done. Now we'll have a store dot subscribe store dot subscribe this, and CLG STORE store dot get state. Store dot get state will be there. But now I have to do a dispatch. So store dot dispatch and fetch users. Fetch user. This is something which I have not yet created, and we will create this fetch users, and we'll create it here, which will use actually those three functions. I will explain the complete thing. Const fetch users equal to, it will be arrow function, but in Redux one thing is that every function is generally a dispatch. It have to use work with dispatch. That is something which is like dispatch is a Redux function. Okay, return function RETURN, return function, which will be like dispatch. Okay, dispatch. Then we'll have like this, and then we'll have a dispatch. Through dispatch only we'll use the first the fetch users request we to call. Okay, fetch users request is this one. Then we'll come here and do a Axios. We have installed Axios dot get this endpoint. Okay, this anyways we are not using this. We're not having a GUI right now. Okay, so if it is successful, then I will come to the then, and in the then I will have a response. Just have it like this, and then const users equal to response dot data. Response dot data will contain my all array of object, but I want to change it to a simple, like this is a simple project. I want to change it to array of a string. So dot map user is user dot name will be there, and then dispatch is fetch users success is users. Okay, so like this it is there. Then here I'll have, okay, we have then, so we'll have the catch also. So we'll have the catch dot catch. In the catch will have the error. Okay, so error, if the error is there, then dispatch fetch users failure and error dot message. Error dot message I will do, and I will save it. Now if everything is okay, now we will run this code. So for that I'll do a node. I think first I'll run and I will tell how it is running. Right? Okay. Okay, so I know what is the error. This is like this. That is working. Okay, so let us understand how this thing came actually. So when this program ran, it came here and console.log get state. So the initial state it will get is like this. loading true. So this line number 75 is running, and the initial state is what? Initial state is loading is for no, 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 line number. Okay, okay, that initial state anyways it is not there. So this is only the subscription. Sorry, my bad. So initial state here we had initial state. I was confusing. So I'm not even getting the initial state. So it is just subscribing. Line number 75 is only subscribing, and it is keep on listening to for the state change. Now the first thing is this fetch user is running. Okay, fetch user is running to dispatch. So inside this again a dispatch is there, and the fetch users request is run. So fetch users request will come here, and it will come run this thing action creator. And action creator is connected to the reducer, so it will go to the first case, and it will do dot 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 state, whatever the state is. The state is like the users, and error will be like that, and loading will be made true. At this moment you can show a spinner. Yeah, when we are going to do React Redux project, we're going to show a spinner at this time. Then what it will do, it will do this API call. Okay, API call it will do, and after 1 or 2 seconds the data will come, and because of this API call only we need the thunk middleware. So this API call will be done, and the response dot data, we'll get this response dot data which will contain all of these things, and we are going to convert it into a array of string with this thing. So what it will happen like this, array of string, the users will now contain this thing, array of string like this. Then this dispatch fetch user success, this users which is array of string will be sent, and then it will go here, and this users, and this payload will have this array of string right now. Then it will fetch user success will, as I've told, it will go to the reducer, because action creators always go to the reducer. So reducer it will go. So action dot payload is this thing. So my this users actions dot payload is like this. And then since my state got changed, this get state will run again, and when it will run again I will get this thing. Loading will be false, loading is false. See this state I will get. So this is how this works. Okay, so that is there. Now let me uh, get this all back. Okay, so that is there. Now let us see the error. To see the error I will make it fail, so I'll make it z. There is no API endpoint like this. Okay, I'll make it fail. So now do this. See, 1 second it takes. First again this fetch users request will run, then it will do this API call, but now this endpoint is not there, so it will go here, and whatever the error is there, error will be actually a string. Error will be string, so this error will, error dot message will be a string. Then it that will go, and this fetch users failure will go here. This payload will contain this simple string, so I'm not showing. Then it will come here, and this false user is this, and error is this action dot payload, which is simple string. So this is how we do the API call through Redux. Okay, so that is there. Now the next thing, let us do one more thing before winding up today. So for 1 sec. So okay, so the thing which we are going to do, I have actually already created a project actually. So let me have this thing also. I require this thing actually. Okay, we're going to copy paste a lot of things from here. So yeah, so what I did actually, so let me open this thing. So okay, so this time we have a React Redux project which we created with npx create React app. So cd React Redux. So this is the most use case of a Redux, so it is always used with React. So we'll do this, and we'll install actually, before moving forward we'll install two packages. One is known as my Redux, which we have already seen, and the other will be React Redux. It is a very important library which is required whenever we use Redux inside a React project, React Redux. So these two things we have to install. Then okay, so I'll open this in a VS Code. Also do a npm start React project. The project got started. So, and this is also there. So I want to refer to this for a reason. because we are going to actually convert this thing only. So first thing is that let us see only the egg container, and this everything is okay here. Okay, I don't need to do something else. Okay, so this is there, and then I'm going to create a components, and inside this component, so now it's a React thing. Okay, so I'll have a egg container dot js, and we'll come back to this again. So but RAFCE, and as I've told, the major concept of Redux is always inside a React project. So earlier thing I have told to just to explain. Okay, so that is there. So div will be there, and then I will have a h2 number of x, and I will have a button 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 by, will be there, save it, and then this I will have this egg container here. I will remove it, save it. So see this egg container, this thing is coming. Okay, so it is showing like this. That is okay. Now we have to create the whole Redux. So Redux, there are different ways to do this. Again, the same thing will be there. I can show a different image. So you'll see it is not a different image. Only instead of JavaScript app, we have a React app. So that is there. So so let us create the same thing. So what we will going to have, first we are going to have this new folder inside this src. So there are different formats, like it is not industry standard, but you can do anything. Like I will have a new folder known as Redux. Okay, and then inside that Redux I'll have another folder known as egg. Okay, and inside that I'm going to have three files. First file will be eggtypes.js. Second file also let me create eggactions.js. Okay, so that is it. Let us do that much only right now. So this types, so where this types file will come. So types is what? This type. So let me copy this from here. That's why I kept it here. So copy this, and React, every file have its own scope. So we have to use the export also. Export. Here we have only one file, but here every file is different. Okay, I have done something wrong. It is not in the action creator. It is in the types. I will have. It is in the types. I will have. Save it. Now the creator will also be like this. This function. Okay, so one more thing I want to tell like this here is buying anyways we're directly just using it. It is not that important, so I will remove it. And this I will import it. So because this is a different file, so I have imported. And React, everything is different, so you have to just add a export. Just add a export, save it. Now the reducer, again it will be like same only, but a different file. Like reducer .js, and then again let me close this thing. This will be like import. Now again it will be like exactly same. Initial egg state, it will be also be same. Egg reducer, and but we have to export it. So every file is different. Export default egg reducer. So like this I am exporting it. So now we'll have a store. Again the constant will be, you'll see exactly like the same. This is like a thing like before the apply middleware. So before the root reducer, when we only have the egg, so that is something. But store is something which will be common to both. We are soon going to have chicken also, so it will have, but that I think we'll have in the next class. So in Redux I'm going to have a new file known as store.js. I'll have, and in store.js I will have this thing const store equal to create. So create store is imported, and then egg reducer, that is also imported. Okay, then I have a export default store I'll have. Okay, so everything you have to export it. So we have done like this till here. So here there is a bit difference from here. See, in a normal Redux project we use the subscribe method, and it was very easy to do it like this. But in a React Redux project we cannot use it less subscribe method. There is something else, and that concept actually we use it quite similar to what we have in context API. Okay, context API, what we have a bit similar to that, not completely similar but a bit similar. So I'll go to this app.js. Then this app.js, I will wrap the main container with something known as provider. Okay, provider. Provider is the library from is a function from React Redux, not Redux. React Redux, it is something which forms a bridge between Redux and React. Container we have to pass inside it. Okay, so that is okay, but this provider is a bit like you have seen in the context API also we have something like this, but not exactly like this. Okay, so then we have to pass the store. We have to pass the store, and this store is also something which is this store. So we have in this provider we are passing this store, and this as I've told, this concept is quite different than what we have in normal Redux. Okay, so that is there. And one sec, let me also give the attendance form for today. Day 2 attendance. So you'll get the certificate if you attend all these things. Okay, and I think we might also finish a bit early also, means it will not take 4 days, I think. Let us see. Day 2 attendance, I'm also posting it on the LinkedIn if you are there, so please fill the day 2 attendance also. Okay, so that is there. Now how to, there were two things here. We were getting the global state, and we are also changing it. So that is something which we are going to do in the second. And this code is a bit tough code. Tomorrow I'm going to tell another code which is like a very new kind of code which is a bit easy. So here we use a concept known as a higher order component concept, which was a bit earlier in React used a lot, and it's a bit complicated concept. What it does, but it's mainly a boilerplate. What it does actually, in any component it can add some additional features. So there is a higher order component known as connect. Okay, so I will tell how to do this thing. Okay, so see, this code will seems a bit weird, but that's okay. So this connect is again from where? Connect is from React Redux, again that library from where the provider was there. Okay, it's a combination. And then we have access to, when we use this connect, we have access to two different things. This is not a keyword, but most of the time you'll see people using like this only: map state to props and comma map dispatch to props. Like these two things we'll have. Now what are these two things? I will come to it. So map state to props is something which will take the global state and we'll get it. Map dispatch to props as like this, it will dispatch the action created, dispatch the action created, and map state to props will get the global state. Okay, now you'll understand it's the global state because it is not even in this file. So this const here, it seems like okay, it is in this file only. So like we'll have a const, but there are some confusions here. Okay, map state to props, I'll have the state like this, then I'll have a return, and then so this is something which I can give it any name, agnums, and then but state dot this nums of x, I will get access to this. So state dot nums of x will actually get me access to this 100. Okay, and this agnums, why I have taken this agnums, because I have to create a local variable which we are going to use, which I'm going to soon show how to use it. Okay, so I'll make this also first, then we are going to use it. Const map dispatch to props, I'll have a dispatch like this, and this dispatch, like this dispatch, it will dispatch the action creator. So return, again I will have a different name, egg by I'll have, and then call it true like this, and then dispatch by egg. By egg, see this by egg is that this function which is there in this action creator by egg. So that is there. Now this egg nums and egg y, what have I have taken, and this is where the actually a bigger confusion in Redux is there, React Redux. Although this and this global state, I'm not using this dot state anyways. There is a concept of props here. So this concept of props is a bit weird kind of thing. This is not a React props. This is the Redux props. Again, this is state. This is not a React state. This is a Redux state. So this props is there. So I will get the props, but I'm not getting the I will not pass anything from here. Okay, I'm not passing anything from here. This props is actually this agnums. It comes as a props here. Weird kind of concept, but that is how weird life is. Okay, that's why people are so much confused in Redux. Okay, so a new pattern has also come. I will show that pattern. Okay, dot egg comes, and this by egg I'll have a on click equal to props dot egg by. Actually it should be like something like egg by, just same weird, egg by function should be there. Function looks much better. Let's save it. I'll go back here. Where is my localhost? Localhost here. So it is showing me 100. It means everything is working fine. By it is also doing this thing. Okay, so let us again understand everything, because it's a bit complicated thing. I want to teach this thing. So this when I like do in the store I do, it means that somehow I have connected like the store to my React app. Like this is subscribed. So now this egg container, this is the main thing which will run, and it will get the nums of x is props.aggnums. So when you see this props.aggnum, it will come here and it will get the state.nums of x from where? From the reducer, from the store, whatever you say, from the store, it is connected, and it will get the global state, which is like 100 right now, 100 at the initial. So then what will happen? It will just wait. Then I will click this by egg, click this by egg. So this by egg will call actually this thing, and this will dispatch the by egg, which will go to this action creator, and again the same thing happen. Action creator will automatically go to the reducer. Reducer will do the dot state. We don't have anything. Nums of x is state dot nums of x minus 1. So nums of x will become 99. The moment it becomes 99, my state get changed. So my state get changed, but I am like the subscriber is there. So the change state will again fire this map state to state.nums of x, and this will get changed. Nums will get changed. So this is how this works. This is how Redux work in a React Redux project. Okay, so we have done this thing. Tomorrow we are going to do more thing here. Like we'll see the concept of there is a much more easier way to use this thing. This thing is actually very complicated. So previous year React Redux team introduced something known as a custom hooks, like use selector and use dispatch. We're going to learn about that, but you should know this way also, because that is a very new way. And another thing which we are going to learn in the next class, maybe the next class will be the last class, is we're going to complete this thing, learn your combined reducers, learn to do the API call again. So this also we're going to learn, which is like a in a React Redux project, which will be like a real thing. And another thing which I want to tell, nowadays a new thing is coming, and Dan Abramov, the creator of React, also told that you should use like that. So this is a context API and reducer. You can omit all these things with the Redux and all. So context API with use reducer hook you can use context with use reducer, but use reducer is 90% similar to a reducer. Okay, because it has the concept like that only. So they're taken this concept from Redux. So we're going to see that pattern also. So that is something which you are going to see. And I think you all fill the attendance form. Please fill the attendance form so that you can get the certificate. Okay, so only 2 people have filled it. No problem. And so thank you all. And with this, I will end the stream.